Today we are going to be going out on a ride on my Honda Rc51, telling you guys what it's like to ride, what the bike is like to experience, because there's not too many of these motorcycles out there, and I feel like the bike isn't really talked about all too much. If you guys did miss the video from a few months back about my first impressions of the bike overall, we talked a little bit about the riding perspective on that video. In this video we're going to cover more of the small, minute things about riding the bike, rather than just more of a ownership experience with the bike like I did in the last video. This bike is a liter bike. It makes 140 horsepower. This bike is incredibly fast and incredibly well balanced. The biggest thing about the Honda Rc51, and the first thing you notice about this amazing machine, is it does not care about speed. If I speed up right here to the speed limit of 55, it does not feel like I'm doing 55 miles per hour right now. If I was to guess about how it feels or how fast I feel that I'm going, right now I would guess I'm going about 30 to 35 miles per hour at the very most, when I am doing 50 miles, 55 miles per hour. It is absolutely crazy as to how well planted this motorcycle is. I cannot stress that enough. I talked about it in that last video. I'm talking about it in this video because the biggest thing that I've realized, and perhaps it's because I haven't really been on too many other liter bikes, it is the speed. You get so much confidence in this machine, and you just feel like it can keep going and going and going and going. And even as a rider who might not be the most experienced, going some of the speeds that this bike can push you to, you just feel like you can do them, which gets a little dangerous, especially if you are a brand new rider who doesn't know what you're doing, because you probably shouldn't be hitting some of the speeds that this motorcycle is easily capable of. Gotta pull my hoodie strings into my hoodie. Keep hitting the side of my helmet. This motorcycle has an aftermarket exhaust, and the sound from this motorcycle is just intoxicating. With an aftermarket exhaust, this bike is loud. But not only is this machine loud, this bike has those gear-driven cams that sound absolutely crazy. I mean, you guys hear them chirping away. It's just this mechanical noise that is so addicting on this machine. I mean, I just want to start the machine and just listen to it idling. It's just intoxicating. If this bike wasn't fast and it just made the noises that it makes, I would have absolutely zero complaints. The biggest thing, and kind of the things that I see about liter bikes, are, yes, this bike is insanely fast. I mean, downshift, it basically teleports. But the bike isn't going to do anything that you don't input it to do. It is all upon the rider. The only downside of a liter bike is that it is heavier. When I pulled this bike into the house the very first day I bought it, it made my R90 Racer look small. And that bike is huge. So this bike it's a big boy bike. It definitely takes a lot of respect to put it down into the corners. The reason I'm not going super hard is because, well, I want to put some new rubber on the bike before I actually get it down and get some good lead angle into the corners. The biggest thing I'm scared of is the tires right now on the bike. I don't know how old they are, but they do look pretty used. But man, is this thing balanced. So well balanced. As someone who isn't super experienced on windy, twisty roads or racetracks, I'm still very comfortable putting this bike down into the corners. Now obviously I have been riding for a few years. This is my first time on a bike, and this is not my first time on a bike this powerful either, or in the realm I should say. So it's not like I'm hopping onto a leader bike without having any experience on riding a motorcycle and knowing how fast you should go around the corners and things like that. Oh, it sounds so good. Avoid the gravel. I mean, just listen to this bike idle away. Now, the bike might be very comfortable, but this bike was, at the end of the day, made to go fast on a racetrack. And one of the downsides of all of that is this bike in city streets does get a little warm. I got this bike up to about 220 degrees the other day that I brought it into the city. They say that the fans don't kick on this machine until about that temperature, so it started to maintain itself a little bit, but the fans should have kicked on a little bit earlier, and that's why a lot of people kind of put aftermarket switches on them to kick those fans on to keep the bike a little bit cooler. Obviously right now we're on some of the country lanes, sitting very close to about 165 to 175 degrees. The other thing I would like to mention is the fact that since it is water cooled, this is an L-twin, which was made to save weight by Honda, and since it has the magnesium covers and stuff, it was made to save weight and whatnot. This bike is still heavy. She is a little piggish. It does weigh about 450 pounds, so this bike is in no way a light bike. Like I was saying, it's a big bike. But for some reason, she handles her weight very well. I think because of how low that rear cylinder is in reality, and obviously Honda knows what they're doing with a motorcycle. They engineered the bike very well. It just sounds like it's screaming. Those gears just sound like this thing is supercharged. This bike just makes the right noises. On diesel, the noises are so addicting. I mean, the first time I got on one of these bikes, I didn't really know what to expect, and that was the first thing I immediately noticed. I mean, I was on a little bit of an open road for the first time I got on the bike, and it just ran it through some gears, and I was going a little bit above the speed limit, and I looked down, I'm like, dude, there's no way I'm going that fast right now. It really changes your perception on speed very fast. But also, I mean, it's comfortable. I mean, she'll just cruise if you really want her to. At the end of the day, it has been toned down from the MotoGP bike a lot. Obviously, to sell to regular people, that's what it needs to be. Anyways, I know I could just continuously give you guys the sound of this motorcycle and you'd probably never get tired of it, but I'm gonna leave the video there. I think you guys have had enough of me yapping on the other hand. That's all I have for the video. If you guys enjoyed, leave a like, subscribe to the channel. I just want to talk a little bit about what the bike is like to ride, what it feels like. If you guys are thinking about getting one, just a little bit more of a perspective on it, because there's not too many videos on these amazing machines out there, and I hope to produce some more content for you guys to enjoy in the up and coming riding season. With that being said, I hope you guys are having a good one, and I'll catch you guys in the next video.